Hello everyone, so my name is Lisa Jet, and so today I am making a very anticipated video, or I was anticipating it, I don't know about you guys, but it is kind of the continuation of this series about Harry Potter. So I made about Harry, Hermione, and Ron, so the main characters. So now I'm going to just more talking about the side characters and like characters that surround them, if you will, and also kind of talking about the houses again and just kind of all that correlation. So, a character that I thought I should make. Now, everyone thinks like after those three, then Dumbledore. And I will definitely make a Dumbledore video. Actually, I did not realize that, but I should make a Dumbledore video because Dumbledore is such an interesting character too. But I thought to actually make a Luna, a video about Luna, just because Luna is a really interesting character, and she's kind of, in a way, downplayed in a lot of the series, in my opinion. And I feel like, even though she doesn't have many like speaking roles, she still contributes to, the world as much as any character can, right? And what I mean by that is, so her house is Ravenclaw, which is very, very fitting for her because she is, if you guys haven't watched Harry Potter, she's one of these characters who she's the definition of what a quirky girl is. Like, that's the best way I can explain to her. Like, because everyone's like, oh, I'm not like any other girl. No, this girl is not like any other person. Like, she is her own unique self, and she's awesome. I love her. And she's also one of my favorite characters, and she's just so interesting because also, in a lot of ways, too, she gets laughed at a lot because of how different she is. But but if you guys haven't watched Naruto, if you guys have, awesome. But if you haven't, there's a character. He's one of the Jinchurikis. So Jinchurikis means like there's these beasts, the tail beasts, and they're the owners of the tail beasts. So the tail beasts are inside them. It's pretty. I don't know. Naruto is weird. I should make a Naruto video too. Sorry, getting so many video ideas. But she's kind of like that character. She's very unique, very different, has a very outside perspective than most people, which I personally really appreciate because it's always nice to have someone who doesn't completely think like you. And she does it with such positivity. Like, she doesn't really, she cares, of course. I think we all, at a certain point care, but she does it anyway. Like, there's a couple of people I know, like my mom, for example, she's like that. Like, she knows who she is, she knows what she wants, and she's not going to listen to anyone about it, but she does it in such an elegant and positive way, but still in such a quirky way. It's just like, how can you not like this character, right? And yeah, and she's very, very smart too. And Ravenclaw especially is really interesting because Ravenclaw is all about knowledge and all about, being curious and constantly studying, constantly learning about yourself. And I think she fits that house so perfectly because she really is that. Like, she is who I think is truly a Ravenclaw. Because Ravenclaws, not all of them, but my definition of what a Ravenclaw is that they are lovers of knowledge, and they don't care if you don't like what they're learning. They're gonna appreciate every bit of it. Like, they're the ones that are gonna find, that's gonna find a new planet, like, what is it, like, I can't think of a planet. Oh no, like Saturn, for example. Like, they'll find Saturn. I know Saturn's already found, but you get what I'm trying to mean. Like, or or the Andromeda galaxy, like they're gonna find that galaxy, or like they're just one of those people that they just don't care what society wants them to do. They don't care about the constraints of society. They're gonna do what they want to do. They're going to go to new and just different lengths and just out of this world lengths to get what they want. And that is so Luna. And just because like a lot of her bits and how they even met her is that she was literally reading a newspaper backwards. And they're just like, why are you reading a newspaper backwards? And like, it's just great that way. I can't remember the line exactly what she said, but like that's across the lines of what she said. And yeah, I don't know. I think she's just so interesting, and she really, because like I feel like in any show and even in any, just in real life in general, in any like, friend group, you have to have some different perspective to something, or it's just gonna feel very like, okay, so okay, like you always have to have variety in a friend group, in my opinion, and I think she really embellishes that factor. Just because, like, I don't know, something about Luna, and like even though she doesn't have too much story and we don't know too much about her, or from the books anyway, and the films, like especially in the books, there might be, there's definitely better people when it comes to like knowing more about a character than like what they're perceived on screen or what they're perceived by the books. But from my perspective, I don't know like too much of her character, like they don't show too much of her character, but just the way that she presents herself and the way she views life is so colorful, and so, which I don't know, I think especially in a story that is so magical and that is so dark as well, it's just so nice to have someone who kind of breaks that, that kind of breaks that energy. Because I just feel like when a character is always gray and when characters are always depressed, it just feels so mournful. It feels like my life has been depleted. I don't I don't know how to say it without putting in that context, but that's just kind of the feeling that it gets, And I also just feel like the most quote unquote unusual, because no one's truly unusual, but the most, misunderstood and the most, the characters that not many people pay attention to, or not many characters that, have as much story and that are, not as favoritized all the time. It's so interesting because I think it's good to talk about these characters even if they don't have so many lines, just because of the mood that they affect, the mood that they give off. And sometimes, yes, they are misunderstood for a reason, but sometimes, like Luna, it's just like, she's so interesting and she's so different, and, like, you just want to talk to her, you want to see how her brain ticks. I don't know, that's how I am. And I mean, like, there's so many characters that I can talk about in Harry Potter, like Dumbledore, for example, and Hagrid, which I definitely need to make those videos because they're great characters as well. But the reason why I made a video about her is that I think it's just interesting to kind of have a different perspective. And I think, and this is not really talking about Harry Potter, this is just in general talking about life. But I think it's just interesting to talk about this character in this context, because, like in life especially, if you always have the same perspective, there's not going to be growth and there's not going to be change. And I think that this character really represents that. She represents how it is to have a different mindset and to have a different viewpoint. And maybe sometimes not everyone agrees with that, and that's totally fine. Not everyone has to agree on what you agree. That just makes us human, you know? Well, yeah, of course, there's going to be arguments on the side, and of course, sorry, I'm getting psychological. This is Lisa. But, you know, what I'm trying to say is, like, of course there's going to be arguments. Of course there's going to be chaos, because that's just how humans are. But it doesn't mean you need to shy away from what you believe, even if it is so different and so contrasting, right? And I just think that makes a person even more human. And also, to be human, I feel like the whole conversation about human rights and, you know, all that stuff is really, you know, yes, we came through a lot of stress as a society, and we still are, and, you know, there's a lot of stuff happening in our society at the moment, and has been before, but how do we act to that stress? How do we get out of that stress? And how do we survive from that stress, right? And I think if a person can't survive something, and especially make who they are as a person, it's not really human. I don't know. And for me too, like I said, there's just a lot of personal stuff going on. And one of the people that was affecting my personal life, she just didn't seem like an honest and true person. She just kind of seemed like a Barbie doll. And to me, that's not really being a person. That's just being a child who constantly wants more and wants more and wants more and wants more. And especially the profession that she was in is just kind of funny that was her character, you know. And I mean, I'm not going to really indulge much in my personal life because some of my family members watch this, so they know what I'm talking about. And, you know, not to create more chaos, but I just think it's interesting to just kind of like, you know, yeah, we may know their history, and yeah, we may not know their history, but I think the best way to know about someone's story and about someone's, you know, about someone's personality is how they think of themselves and how they think of the world. That just says a lot about a person, and that says a lot about who they are as people and who raised them. And I mean, I think everyone knows this by now, and everyone, you know, understands that factor, but I think it's just really good to reinstate that, because, you know, I think sometimes we just all kind of get lost in our worlds, and we all lost in our struggles, but we don't actually open up to the fact that, oh, there's another route, you know, there's another way. And I think Luna especially, and just being in general, Ravenclaw, it really kind of shows you a different way of thinking, you know, a different way of being, a different way of perceiving. Because if you really think about it, life is not bad and it's not good. You know, there's no gray, there's no black or white. It's all gray. It's all neutral. And I think if you really want to think of it in that way, the only reason why things are good or bad is how we perceive them. It's how our emotions perceive it. And I think with Luna especially, and to kind of summarize what I'm trying to say, well, especially with this character, is I think that she's a really good role model when it comes to understanding yourself, your self-worth, and just being true to who you are and not caring of what other people think of you. Because truly, if you can do that, you can do anything. Because if you can conquer yourself and your self struggles, you can seriously conquer anything. And yes, for a lot of people, that is just like mind blowing. It's like, really? What? No. But it's possible. It's hard, for sure, but it's possible. And I think Luna, even though we may not know everything about her, or me anyway, or maybe I forgot some factors, it's refreshing to see that, we don't always have to have a character that, needs a backstory, that needs this like very gray type of storyline. Sometimes it's good to have a character that is a side character, but that's still impactful to the people who watch the series or read the series. Because being impactful doesn't only mean emotion, it also means empowerment, and it also means looking into ourselves and seeing how we can grow with that character and how we perceive ourselves from that character. So, this is definitely much more of a deeper character dive and a little bit more of a deeper perspective, but maybe not completely on the topic. But I think especially with a lot of these side characters, that she's just a good side character to start off with, because she really is what a side character needs to be. Somebody that can support you, that can show you the light, and that can show you honesty, but in a beautiful and colorful way. Yeah, I think that's a good way of summarizing that. Okay, well, I hope you like it. And it took me forever to record. This took forever to record today, but it's okay. Yeah, I think that's a good way of summarizing this character. Just really, to have a good side character is to have someone who's honest, who's truthful, who's impactful, but can still keep the storyline on track and really see what's inside of you. Yeah, so that's kind of my deep dive on Luna. Okay, well, I hope you like it, and see you next time. Bye!